The horn on the bus goes beep, 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 beep.
Donald and Lisa Drewry live in Rogers, Arkansas, with their 3 adopted sons, Landon, Theodore, and Thaddeus, or Theo and Tadpole for short.
When we first started this process, I am not Native American, but my husband, Donald, is Native American. And so I made a phone call to Cherokee Nation just asking some questions, and they sent us a packet in the mail to start the process with a welcome letter and told us everything that we needed to know to get started.
That was the first time that I ever used any of Cherokee Nation's resources for anything. And yeah, I was always pleasantly surprised or impressed with how far they went for us. They gave us good information.
The Drurys have been involved with Cherokee Nation Indian Child Welfare for 6 years. ICW actively recruits, trains, and certifies Native American families to meet the needs of Cherokee children for foster and adoptive placement.
It's just been a great to see this family just come together and be this just whole beautiful family where there was just 2 people and now there's 2 people and 3 kids, and they're just great to work with and have been a blessing for those children.
I think we did 4 weeks of training, about 3 hours a night. That was for starters. That was just to kind of get started, and I think a lot of that was just to kind of really let you know what to expect and if it was really something you had a heart for or not. I think that's kind of what it was geared towards. Once we went through that and decided we wanted to continue, then there was a lot of home studies, a lot of home education. People would come to, the workers would come to our home, ask us questions, and then also give us information and resources to learn on our own.
We wanted to raise the opportunity to raise children on our own without them going back and forth between homes. We always thought that was our dream. We always thought that if they could have a constant, if they could have us as their parents, we could make a difference.
One thing that impressed me and that I appreciate still to this day is how they were always very honest with us. They weren't cynical, but they also didn't tell us what we wanted to hear if the situation didn't call for it. You go on an emotional roller coaster, especially if you're intending to adopt, and you need somebody that's keeping you grounded. They were very good, very consistent about that.
We started out by doing our paperwork and the home study. We attended some cultural events with Cherokee Nation. It was about 2 years into the process before we received a placement. I never will forget the phone call when Nicole Allison placed our Landon with us. I was driving home from work and she called and asked us if we would be willing to take a 7-year-old little boy. And I said, well, tell me a little bit about him. And she started to talk with me about that, and I said, when can I pick him up? So, and that was our Landon. I told him we would stop anywhere he wanted to on the way home to get something to eat. He wanted to go to Walmart, so we went down the toy aisle, and he picked something out, and he told me that he wanted mushroom pizza to eat. So I thought, mushroom pizza, what a unique little guy. So we couldn't find a mushroom pizza because they don't have a frozen mushroom pizza at the store, so we made one. And he came home, played with his new toy. When Donald got home from work, after that Donald went up in the attic and got baseball gloves out, and they played baseball in the front yard. It was about a 2-hour bedtime process with Landon. And I would go in and I would rub his back. He would take his shower, I would go in, I would rub his back, and he'd just talk and talk and talk to me. He'd tell me stories, and they were heartbreaking. I can remember going in just sobbing to Donald after he would open up and share, and then I would try to remember everything to share with Donald because our bond was almost instantaneous, Landon and I just really connected. He felt pretty comfortable and safe with me. If I could tell anyone, I guess, anything about when they had their first placement, get ready for some of those stories if you have an older child and some extra bonding time. They need it.
They started fostering all 3 of the children before adopting them. The twins' adoption became final in April of this year. All 3 of the boys have had their ups and downs, but they are now thriving with their new family.
What's it like having 2 little brothers?
Hard work.
Yeah, but do you love them and you like them being around?
Yeah. They're all in love that they love me. And the twins.
By passing the Indian Child Welfare Act in 1978, Congress guaranteed Indian children the right to stay connected to their tribes. Cherokee Nation Indian Child Welfare helps ensure that Cherokee children who cannot be cared for by birth parents can benefit from new and permanent ties with Native American families through adoptions or guardianships.
You don't have to be wealthy to have a place for these children to go. I would encourage anyone that has any amount of space to get involved somehow. Even if you can't provide a home, get involved somehow. They'll tug at your heart.
We feel really fortunate to have these boys. They're good boys, all 3 of them.
For more information, call 918-458-6900, toll free 1-866-376-9319, or log on to CherokeeKids.org.